Hello YouTube, this is Dan Inc. I'm going to be doing a series of videos uh, that's aimed at educating and helping people. First video is going to be this one, why I prep, and should you? Why I prep is because I want to be prepared. Obvious, but it's like insurance for your car. You buy it and hope you never have to use it, but it's there. It's a cushion. Is prepping an automatic savior? No. Is it guaranteed to save your life? Mm-mm. But you're a little bit better off. Well, what are some things? People say, "Hey Dan, what are some things you prep for? What are the things you're worried about?" Well, there's a lot of things. In general, natural disasters. We have hurricanes, tornadoes, flash floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, landslides. The list goes on. Other threats, terrorism, biological, bombs, and you may think that an event that happens, 2 states over from you may not really affect you that much, but how interconnected we are as a country to everything else. If one area has a problem, the whole country has a problem. And it may not be severe, and it may be. Another thing, economical. Just in case, what happens? Stock markets crash like they did before. People weren't prepared for that. And a lot of people lost their houses. A lot of people ended up homeless, lost their job. They had no plan. They thought it would never happen to them. Another thing I prep for is everyday life. Criminals, people get robbed all the time, flat tires. And the list goes on. Forget something at home. You're prepared for that. You have a plan. You're ready, which gives you an advantage over everybody else who doesn't. Do I think everybody should prep? Yeah. I think everybody should have a plan at least. Gives you an edge. There are going to be 3 types of people in a major disaster that we see. There's going to be the victims. They are going to be desperate, hurt. They're going to be in trouble, and they are going to do anything that they can to stay alive, even if that means taking it from other people. We've seen that. It's like trying to save somebody who's drowning. If you're not careful, you'll get pulled under and drown too. The victims are going to be very desperate and panicked. They're not going to have a plan. That doesn't make them bad people per se, but many of them, will take your life over a bottle of water. So you need to be prepared and have a plan for that. Second type of person. You are going to have the predator, we'll call them. Good word. They will prey on the victims and the prepared. These people are already maybe criminals, and they're going to use this disaster to help them get a leg up in the world. That's their thought. Looting, stealing, things like that. And they're predators. They will sniff out the weak and take advantage. And there's going to be people who are prepared. There's going to be people who thought this ahead. When everybody else said it wouldn't happen, they said, what if? And they had a plan. Maybe it's a good plan, maybe it's not a good plan, but they planned for it. Out of that group of people, I don't know who you're going to be, but I'd prefer to be the one with a plan. If that plan fails, you have to make a decision. Are you going to be the victim, or are you going to be the predator? I can't answer that question for you. But should you be prepared to try to avoid that choice? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely you should. Doesn't take much. Like I said, people will kill each other over a bottle of water. If you can avoid that situation, not having to go out to look for water, well, more power to you. Maybe you know where there's water at. Maybe you have a plan. How do you get there, though? That'll be another video. These are just the philosophy of why I prep. Why do I do what I do? Why do I save up a little food here and there? Why do I save up some bottled water? Why do I have a plan? An escape route. These are things you should have. A couple different ones for different scenarios. Why do I watch the news so much to current events? That's why I do these things. Is so I can be prepared. So maybe not 100%, but I have a plan. I have something. Little things, a kitchen knife, a case of bottled water, a package of Top Ramen, warm clothes. These are things that maybe you don't think about, that you might already have in your house, but if something happens, you are going to be panicking and not think about. So you need to think about it. You need to have a plan. Where do you live? What's important to you in your climate? That's going to differ from person to person. I can't answer that. Somebody in Alaska is going to have much different needs than somebody in Florida. So ask yourself these tough questions. What if? And they're hard questions. I talk to some of my friends about it, and I say, hey, you ever think about this kind of stuff? And what happens? What's your plan? And they just say, I don't want to talk about that stuff. That's depressing. I don't want to think about it. They need to think about it, and I try to tell them that. And then they ask me, well, why do you do it? What do you think? So that's why I'm making these videos. I guess that's going to be the end of this video. Next video, I'm going to get into a little bit more detail. I'm going to go over my EDC, or everyday carry, things that I always make sure I have on me before I leave the house, and why I do it. Why do I have these things? What am I preparing for? What do I think that they'll be used for? What do I use them for every day? So if you're curious, go ahead and watch why I prep EDC. That'll be my next video. Thank you guys for watching. But that's why I do what I do. Maybe you should think about it too.